Good evening. Today is Wednesday, March 5th, and I'm making this video to review the stock alerts that were posted by Stockwits Academy today, which is an online trading group. I'll be reviewing them on the 5-minute chart to give you an idea of what to look for before you enter the trade, and I'll review them in the same order that they were alerted today. So let's get started. Okay, the first alert given today was Tesla. I've got the list here with the times. So Tesla was alerted at 7:37 this morning. My time is, we're Mountain Standard Time, but if you're looking at Eastern Standard Time, that would have been 9:37 this morning. Market opens at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. It opens at 7:30 a.m. my time. So this alert was given out my time at 7:37, which would be 9:37. So let's look here at 7:37 for the chart here. So if we look at the time the alert was given would have been on this red candle right here. So if you look at this chart at the time the alert was given, and it was a put that was alerted, and you can see on this chart some of the moving averages are in a downtrend. MACD is in a downtrend, but this chart with these long wicks and all the up and down, that was not a good entry point at all. This chart was very choppy during this time. So, you wouldn't have wanted to get in anywhere around that time. If you were watching and you watched it reject here off the 113 EMA, that's this black line. Oh, and again, I've got all my, my legend here of all my colors. So if you want to refer to that, but the black line is the 113 EMA and you can see it rejected there. So that could have been an okay entry point on this trade for a put, because then it rejected and it started to go down and then came back up. And that's the 113 SMA and then went back down again. So you could have caught some downside to this trade today if you were watching it at that time, not getting in when it was alerted, but being patient, waiting till it rejected off the 113 EMA and then caught some downside to it. And if you held through here, it did cross back over VWAP, which is the purple line, but it still got rejected and went down further. You could have also switched here and then caught some upside as well. And I think that trade was alerted later on in the day. A call was alerted on Tesla. But for this trade, you could have caught a downside there, but you had to be patient. Your entry point was not at the time that the alert was given. Okay, so next we'll look at PEP, and that was alerted at 7:38. So let me just bring up PEP. It was a call. Very rarely have I ever traded this stock, which is PepsiCo. So I'm not that familiar with the habits and pattern of this stock. But anyways, the call was given at 7:38. So let's just look at the candles at that time. So at the time the alert was given, we did have these huge green candles right here. Price was going up, but if you look at your moving averages, everything was going down. MACD was going up, but it wasn't strong. So because these two big candles here come out, you're going to get a reversal on this trade. So your best bet would have been to wait, but this trade never really, this stock never really set up for a good trade today for a call. So it did look like it was going to take off, but then reversed back down and then just chopped all day and went back down. So this trade would not have worked out today. Next we have GD. So let's just look. I switched my mouse to this size just so it would be easier to point things out on the chart, but I'm not sure if I'm liking it yet. Okay, so GD, General Dynamics. So that alert was given at 7:39, which would have been right around here on this green candle. So if you looked at this chart at this time, you could see that this was a good entry point. So all your moving averages are in an uptrend here. MACD is in an uptrend. Price is above VWAP, which is the purple line here. It's above all of your moving averages and everything was looking really good. When the alert was given, which would have been right on this candle, if you wanted to wait, a bit for a little bit more confirmation over VWAP and that everything was in the uptrend, you could have waited till even here. But obviously looking at this chart, this was a beautiful chart today. If you got in there, you could have rode this this stock all day. Well, not all day, but for the most part, for quite a long time, catching the upside. And you can see that this trended up and it rode the 9 EMA all day. And so it stayed, as long as the price was staying above, you're good to stay in this trade. I don't like to give exit points, but obviously it fell here below the 20 SMA. It did pop back up, but sometimes it's not worth it to hold through this because you're going to lose some of your value because of time decay. So by the time you get back up to here, you're basically at the same price you were down here, the same spot on your option. So sometimes it's just better to get out. Usually I watch for, 1 or 2 red candles or it to fall below. Here it fell below the 9 EMA and then again it dropped down below the 20. So if you held through that, it wouldn't have been worth it to hold any longer because then it evened out. So that was an awesome trade today. That was a good alert, an awesome alert. Next we had ASTS. So if we look at ASTS, the alert was given at 7:41. It was a call. So again, if we look at that's 7:35, this is 7:40, so at 7:41. So at 7:41, if you looked at this chart, you can see that everything, all your moving averages are in an uptrend, your MACD is in an uptrend. This green line here is yesterday's high, so it's on my chart over here. This is yesterday's high. Price crossed above that, and then it stayed above. It went across VWAP, which is the purple line. So this would have been a good entry point when the alert was given out at 7:41, and you could have, caught a nice upside to it. Of course, here you got some chop back and forth. If you held, you could have held even longer here, or if you got out and then got back in on the pullback here, because it did pull back to VWAP here, and then it went up again. So you could have caught a lot of nice upside to this trade today. This stock went up 18% today, so that was a really nice trade today on ASTS. That was a great call out or great alert. Next we had CLF. So CLF was a call, but it had the expiry date of March 14th, so it was kind of a swing, even though it wasn't alerted as a swing. I don't know if you guys consider next week expiry a swing. Usually when I take trades, if we're already on a Wednesday, I don't take the same week expiry. I do take next week. So I will review this trade. So the alert was given at 7:42, which would have been right around here. You can see there's not a clean setup. The moving averages are not in uptrends. MACD is not in an uptrend. So if you waited out this trade, dropped down here below VWAP, then it went back up. It was pretty choppy. Your ideal place to get into would have been here, and this is where everything started to move into an uptrend, and you can see MACD. Your MACD was in an uptrend, all your moving averages. That's a safer place to enter than over here because everything's just choppy and up and down. Some are going down, some are going up, but here when you get everything trending upwards, then you've got a nice entry point and you could have caught a nice upside to that trade. So that trade was was a good alert, but not to jump into it right away, and which is what Mike always says, is he says don't jump into a trade right away when he alerts it. So you wait for the setup. Here, if you were patient, watched it, waited for the setup, here was your setup to get in, and there was your upside to the trade. Next, we had MRNA. It was a swing. We won't review that. HALO was a swing. I would consider March 21st a swing as well. SMCI was given out. Didn't say swing, but we'll look at it anyways. Let's just have a look and see if it's even worth looking at. The alert was given at 8:01. Yeah, let's not even look at that because we'll just consider that a swing trade. And the swing trades kind of, you do want to try and maximize where you get in, but if you're going to hold it till March 21st, it's going to be all over the place. So next we had DECK, D-E-C-K. This one is new to me as well. Deckers Outdoor Corporation. I don't know that one. The alert was given at 8:02. This is a low volume a low volume stock. You can see the volume up here was only 1.6 million. So if we look at the alert was given out at 8:02, should have been right here. So we're already at the top. So again, you don't want to be getting in right there because your moving averages aren't all going up nicely. MACD isn't strong. Obviously, it dropped back down. So if you watch this, you could have got in here, which is the touchdown to the 113 SMA, and then this is where you could have caught an upside. But again, this was risky because it wasn't a nice setup. Moving averages are kind of going up and down. You're trying to catch the reversal here, which you could have and caught some upside. But again, there's not a lot of volume on this stock today. And when there's not a lot of volume, it's riskier and takes forever for price to move. So this one could have caught a bit of upside to it, but I'm not sure. There was probably better trades to get into today than this one. Okay, next we had Palantir, PLTR, and it was a call. Oh, I messed up on the date here, the expiry date, but we'll just assume it's March 7th. So at 8:06. So let's look at this trade. I'm sure 8:06 is right around here. So you can see here at the time that the alert was given out, your moving averages were in a downtrend and MACD wasn't in a cleanup trend. So this would not have been a good entry point. It was bouncing off the 60-minute opening range breakout, which is this pink line. So if you were patient and waited for the setup on this trade, obviously the setup was later on around 10 in the morning, which would have been noon Eastern time. And you can see how nicely it's set up here. MACD was in an uptrend. Your moving averages were in an uptrend. And that's when the stock really started to move up nicely. And you could have caught a nice upside to that trade today. It did get across the 60-minute opening range, which is this pink line. You can see it bounced back and forth a bit, but then it did continue up. So that would have been a nice trade today to take. Next, we had VRT. VRT was alerted at 8:12. So let's just look at 8:12 here, which should have been right around this time, right at the top of this. And again, it's rejecting off the, this is the 60-minute opening range. So you can see it rejected, went down, went back up, rejected again. So this is a trade that would have been kind of choppy. And again, your moving averages, some are going up, some are going down. There's no clear trend. Your best bet would have been to stay out of this trade. Here it touched down to VWAP, just below it, and then back over. If you were watching that and you wanted to get in once it crossed back over, you could have caught some upside there, but then again, it dropped back down. And here's where you would have caught a bit of nice upside on this trade. Price was above the 9 EMA, which is your green line, and there was your upside there. So it was a little bit choppy, but you could have caught a bit of the trade here. That was VRT. Next, we have FUTU. So let's just look here, FUTU Holdings. That alert was given at 8:26, which is right here. So at that time, if you would have looked at this trade, you would have seen all your moving averages are in an uptrend. Prices above VWAP, well above VWAP. MACD is in a nice uptrend. And so this would have been a good entry point. You could have, caught some upside and got out up here, or if you held, and you can see it held the 20 SMA and close to the 9 EMA, and then it trended upwards. So you could have held a little longer, but you did get some upside here, and this would have been a good return on your trade right there. So there probably was no need to hold through all that, but because you don't gain a lot because of time decay, but this would have been an okay trade to get into at the time that it was alerted. Next we had BABA, B-A-B-A. That's for a March 14th expiry date, which, isn't really a swing. So let's just look at that. The alert was given at 8:36, which is right around here. Again, looking at this chart, this is a good setup. MACD's in an uptrend. All your moving averages are in an uptrend. So even if you got in here, you would have had to hold through a bit of a pullback here, but you would have caught a lot of upside to this trade today. So that was a great alert. That was BABA, and at 8:36. Next we had BIDU, and that was alerted at 8:37. So let's look at BIDU at 8:37, which was right around here. So again, this chart looks similar to BABA. So at the time of the alert, everything was moving up in an uptrend. Price crossed VWAP there. I don't have any marks on here for like yesterday's high or opening range, but obviously this was your opening range. That's probably the 30-minute or even the 60-minute, and you can see that it rejected there, went back down, touched on VWAP, and then went up and crossed over that opening range. So this would have been a nice trade too, even if you got in down here, or if you got in during the alert but then held through this bit of a pullback and then caught some upside to it there. So that trade would have worked out for you today. Next we had GDX, which is a swing, 2 swings. Then we had crowd CRWD, and that was listed as extreme risk. So let's look at CRWD. The alert was given at 8:44. So let's just look at this chart at 8:44, which is right around here. So the reason this was given out as extreme, you can see why, because everything's in a downtrend and you're trying to catch the reversal. So yes, the price, it did reverse down here. So we're trying to catch here, but you didn't get a lot of upside to it. And it was a lot of up and down, up and down. So that, without a clear indication of it going up, that would have been a hard trade to hold through all that. But I mean, you did get some upside overall, so you could have come out green on that trade, but you would have held through a lot of up and down, a lot of red candles. So that was CrowdStrike. Next we had SLV, that was a swing. Then we had KWEB with a March 14th expiry date. So we'll look at KWEB. Let's see, that alert was given at 8:51. So we'll look at 8:51, which is right here. So this was a nice trade. So again, everything was looking good. You just had to hold through a bit of a pullback there. It was staying on the 9 EMA. As long as it's holding the 9 EMA, you're good. And then you caught some nice upside to that trade. So that was a good trade today. That was a good alert to get in on. So that was KWEB. Then we had MSTR, which was given out as a swing, but it was next week expiry, so we will go over that one. MSTR, that was at 8:52. Let's look at 8:52, which is right here. So at the time the alert was given out, you can see here this red candle that's referred to sometimes as tweezer top when these line up like that, and then usually indicates a reversal, which it did. So it dropped down. This blue line here is pre-market low. So you can see here it went up, came down to pre-market low, went up, came down again, didn't quite come down as far. And then if you were watching this chart and you were patient, you could have caught that this was the entry point here because your MACD started to go up, your moving average is starting to go up. It had already bounced off pre-market low, and then it proceeded to go up. You have another rejection point here, which is the opening range. I mark the 60-minute. Some people mark the 30. Sometimes they're the same. So this light pink is the 60-minute opening range high, and it did cross over that. So, and it crossed through the pre-market high, yesterday's high. So this price, this alert just started to go up. So nothing was kind of stopping it. It wasn't reversing at any of these points, which is a nice trade too, to see that happen. So once you're in, you need to be aware of those levels, but sometimes it just clears them, which it did. And you got a nice upside to that. And of course, pulled back to pre-market high, which is this blue line, and then it continued up. So that would have been a nice trade today. So that was a great call out, MSTR. Next we had FXI. It was a swing. Apple was a swing to March 21st. We can look at it, but I don't know if we'll get much out of it today because it's a swing and, oh yeah, it had a huge drop this morning. So if you would have got in around where it's 1022, oh, it's way up here already. Yeah, so that's a swing trade. You could have gotten in if you're still holding. That's awesome because you did catch some upside. Hopefully it keeps going up for you if you're in that swing trade. Next we had Amazon. Amazon was given out at 1023. So it was a call. So let's look 1023, which is right around here. So right at this time, everything's looking good. Moving averages are going up. MACD is up, and we're getting over yesterday's high and pre-market high. So the green is yesterday's high. The blue is pre-market high. It blew through those two levels, and then it continued up. So that was a great call out, a great alert, and you could have caught a nice trade off of that. Next, we had Meta. Meta was alerted at 1025, which is, that's right here. So Meta at 1025, this looks similar to MSTR right before it. So 1025 right around here. Again, this chart looks good. Everything's in an uptrend. Price is above VWAP. MACD is in an uptrend, and you just have these levels to get through, which is your opening range, yesterday's high, and pre-market high, which did struggle getting over those. So there was a bit of chop here up and down, but it did hold the 9 EMA, which is the green line, and then you got some nice upside to that trade. So that was a nice trade today, Meta. Next we had Coin here at 1031. So let's look at Coin at 1031. Okay, that was right here. So this, an entry point here would have been risky just because, you missed a lot of the upside already. So you're kind of, like there's probably going to be a reversal coming if you've marked out your opening range, and you've kind of already missed all this upside. There's a risk of a reversal here. So if you were patient and waited for the reversal, you can see that it came down and touched the 20 SMA, that's this pink line, and kind of rode that up. So you could see as long as it was staying above that, you were good on this trade. And then obviously if you were entered around here on this pullback, you'd have caught a really nice upside on that trade after that. So that was Coin. That was a really nice alert. Next we had Hood. So let's just see. That was given out at 1033. Not sure if I'm liking this mouse, so I might have to change it after. Okay, so here's 1033. So this is the same thing. You've missed a lot of the upside. There's a risk of a reversal here because this is your opening range. Obviously, it did reverse here, went back down to the 20 SMA, and then rode that up, and the 9 EMA. So this, and it did reverse here as well off the 113 EMA. So if this one, if you were patient, waited for the pullback, and then got in, you'd have caught some nice upside to it. So again, you don't always want to jump in right when the alert is given because, like I said, this had a risk of a pullback, which it did. And then if you waited and then got in, and there was your upside to that trade. So that was Hood. Next, we had Tesla, which we'd already reviewed, and we knew that that did have an opportunity. It was alerted at 11:05. We'll just look at it again. And this is a March 14th expiry, which is next week. So at 11:05, which is right around here, so there had just been a big drop. It reversed here, and then you could have caught some upside. So that trade, you did have an opportunity for this trade later on in the day. And this was a call. Early in the day, it was a put. Later on in the day, it was a call. Next, we had KRE. KRE was, the alert was given at 12:07. So 12:07, which was right around here. So you can see this did reverse, like you had a pullback here, the tweezer bottom, which indicates a reversal. So there was some upside to this, but not a lot of trade left. Again, probably wasn't like a good opportunity to get in at this point, just because you've got all these moving averages going down, some going up, and you're catching a reversal, but there's going to be some resistance. This blue line is pre-market low. So you can see it rode right along there, and along with the 113 EMA, which is the black line. So there wasn't much opportunity there for a trade today. You could have caught a bit, but not a lot of you. You would have had to get out right away. WFC, which is March 14th. Let's just look at that one. It's kind of a swing. 1208. Okay, so 1208 was right around here. So again, when the alert was given out, you were meeting some resistance here, which is your opening range, the pink line, and you see that it did fall back, but it did hold above VWAP. It touched down on the 20, kind of held 9 EMA because that's still here, and then it continued up. So if you were patient and watched this trade, waited for the pullback, you would have been rewarded here with a nice upside to that trade through all these candles. So that was WFC. Next we had BAC is March 21st, so it's a swing. SOUND. SOUN is a swing as well, but maybe we will look at SOUN. I think that's SOUN. So that was at 12:11. Would have been right around here. So yeah, so you'd have caught some upside, but again, that's a swing trade. So if you're in, you're going to hold longer. So yeah, we're not going to review that one. And that's it. The rest were all swings later on in the day. So if you got in any of those and you're still holding, that's hopefully that those work out for you. I'm not going to review them. I'm just reviewing the trades, the alerts that are given out for the day that are more the day trades. So yeah, and so what I usually do, besides all my indicators, I go in and I mark all of these, which is yesterday's high, yesterday's low, the 60-minute opening range high, 60-minute opening range low, the pre-market high, and the pre-market low. So I mark all of those, color code them all, and then whichever chart I'm looking at. So this is the 5-minute, but I have all my charts here. So this is the 10-minute. Let me just pick a better one here to look at. I think Baba was a good one. Yeah, and so, oh, that one doesn't have any indicators on it. What about ASTS? That will be a good one. So once I put all the indicators on and I mark all of these price, like the highs and the lows, then whatever time frame I look at, they're still there. So they're on each time frame. So whatever one I want to look at, they're still there. And this is pre-market here on these. But you can see here's the 30-minute. So all of these are all still on here. So no matter which time frame I look at, my markups are still there. This is the 3-minute, the 2-minute. And of course, they don't always show up because then once we get into these lower time frames, they're too spread out. But anyways, that's what I always do. So then I kind of have an idea of where you're going to have support and resistance, especially the opening range, high and low. The dark pink is the low, the light pink is the high. Stocks reject a lot off of the opening range, the 30-minute or the 60-minute. And that's exactly, you can see what happened here with ASTS. And then it kind of bounces right around it before it finally then clears it. So I have all my indicators, and then I go through and mark all of these. I know other people mark even more resistance levels and support levels. I just do those as a basic, and just to help me try and gauge where they're gonna, where they could have support or reject. But anyways, that wraps up the alerts for today. I hope this video helped you, and you'll know what to watch for tomorrow when the alerts are posted. Good luck in the markets tomorrow, everyone, and we'll catch you in the morning on the chat. Have a good evening tonight. Thanks.